Yeah, hello and welcome to another video. In this video, it's a bit of a special one. I wanted to make that video today because I had a lot of requests and because, for the benefit of everybody, there is obviously a lot of stuff going on again in the crypto market, a lot of negative news this week. That we received a lot of negative news is not a surprise. I warned about that early this week as we are heading deep into support boxes of our technical analysis of the charts in those wave twos. Yeah, Elliott wave, anybody who's here just for the stablecoin topic, maybe just a minute of explanation. I mean, in Elliott wave, you have certain waves. These waves are mathematical patterns basically on the chart that show you the sentiment. If the sentiment is very negative, then oftentimes that indicates we are close to a local bottom or a more substantial bottom. I'm currently counting a lot of coins as being towards the end of a so-called wave 2. Typically, towards the end of a wave 2, negative news increase. I think on Tuesday this week, I warned about, especially on Telegram and Discord, I warned about negative news will increase this week. Do not be surprised if we see more dominoes fall or some very negative news. And that was probably the best prediction of this week. We had Silvergate Bank being wound up. We had the, SVB Bank, or it's SVB in the US, being closed down. We've had Biden's 30% proposed tax on mining. Okay, that's not too much of news because it probably won't go through. But there's more. Probably I can't even think about all of this stuff at the moment. And then we've got obviously the major issue, the stablecoins. So this is more of a spontaneous video. I haven't really done too much research, but I know quite a bit about stablecoins. I want to share with you my view of the current topic. I want to help a lot of people to understand what are stablecoins, which one is probably the safest one, what do? I can't tell you what you should do. I can only warn about it, right? It's in a similar situation. We're in a similar situation, in my opinion, where things could get worse. A lot of people will call it FUD, but a lot of people call it the FTX issue FUD as well, and didn't take their funds off exchanges. Anybody who at the time in November was channel member of MCO and had access to Discord and Telegram, I did warn 3 to 4 days before FTX collapsed about getting funds out. A lot of people did that. I never really used FTX too much, but a lot of people saved a ton of money or protected their funds by being up to date. So I make this video as well, not to spread so-called FUD, but to really warn, because there is something that could develop into something much worse. At the moment, I mean, we don't know enough. Yeah, we never hear all the information, but it is when I've seen enough to know when we see stuff like that to be careful. So I want to just explain to you first, what are stable coins. It's not going to be a super efficient video, so it might actually take a while because we want to take a look through, maybe a few news and what's going on, right? So we've got certain stable coins, and you can actually see here on CoinMarketCap that, for example, we've got USDT is one of these stable coins. It is back to $1 basically, right? But you can see how it fluctuated. We've got USDC, which is depegging massively. What does that mean? We're going to talk about that. And we've got BUSD, which is still the third largest stable coin around, but it will drop its market cap will drop significantly. So first of all, I wanted to talk about, and there are way more stable coins, yeah, but there is not anymore one large decentralized stablecoin. The largest decentralized stablecoin, and I might be wrong, if anything that I say is wrong, please correct me. I'm not pretending to be the the major expert in stablecoins and fundamentals here, but obviously I observe the crypto market every day. My expertise is in technical analysis and Elliott wave analysis, but still I hope I can help a lot of people here to understand the topic, and then you can still go away and do your own research even further. But UST was the once largest decentralized stablecoin, and everybody was very positive about USDT until it collapsed. So there is not the one major decentralized stablecoin around anymore. So what is a stablecoin? So stablecoins basically they are cryptocurrencies that are pegged to a stable asset, like for example the US dollar. I mean, there are even stable coins like, how is it called? Is it GBP? The pound token, yeah, GBPT. So basically, this one would be pegged by the British pound. There are European or euro-backed stable coins, but all of them are fluctuating at the moment. Okay, but that's compared to the USD anyway. So be aware of that. Yeah, it is. There are different stablecoins. There's even PAXG, which is apparently backed by gold. So there are a lot of different stablecoins around. Just be aware of that. However, the major ones where we currently see an issue, that's USDC and BUSD. And then we obviously have Tether, which has always been a bit of a problem, and there have always been rumors that they are not very transparent. But just be aware of that. So 3 main stablecoins. There are other ones as well, but the US are currently making life very hard for stablecoin companies, for stablecoin owners. The US do not really like the idea of stablecoins, especially at the moment. The problem here is that the crypto market runs off stablecoins, because many coins are traded in stablecoin pairs. So USDT, the exchanges I mainly use, which are Bybit and Kucoin, they mainly use USDT. Binance logically would use a lot of BUSD as well. It depends to a degree on the exchange, but USDT is the largest stablecoin, at least at the moment, with a market cap of 72 billion US dollars. USDC's market cap has gone down. I think it was 40. It's gone down a bit to 37 now. But yeah, just be aware of that. The crypto market runs off stablecoins, and there have been rumors in the past that cryptocurrencies, the market cap of the crypto market as a whole, was artificially blown up, especially by Tether. Now, I'm not saying this is the case, but there have been rumors, and I encourage you to just do your own research. I'm not claiming any of this is naturally true, but there have been rumors that USDT, or the company behind USDT, they have issued USDT unbacked to pump the price of Bitcoin. Now, that might have never happened. It might have just been rumors, or it might have happened, but it was in the past. I have no idea if it still happens, but there are rumors. That's certainly one concern many people have about these stablecoins, that they are supposed to be backed. So the idea is every stablecoin is backed by an asset, by a stable asset. Like for 1 USDT, you should get 1 USD. For 1 USDC, you should get 1 USD, okay? So that's the claim, and these companies that are issuing these stablecoins, they claim that's the case. Some are more transparent, some aren't. But the problem is, are they really backed by asset? Are they really backed by assets? So that's the website here of Tether. Somewhere here you can actually find how they claim that it's backed. I haven't actually, I've looked it up a few days ago. Don't really want to go into too much detail, but they claim they are 100% backed and fully transparent. Now, last time I checked, let's start the other way. So there have always been concerns around USDT, and that it's not always been fully backed. Maybe that's improved, but they are not very transparent. Well, they say they are transparent. It doesn't load. See, that's the problem. It does. You click on the transparency page. Oh, there you go. But yeah, they claim they are transparent, and you can look through all of this. But the last time I read through their reports, they only had, or they claimed they only had, they don't have 100% in cash. Yeah, that would be ideal actually if you really want a backed stablecoin to have 100% in cash, but they actually only have around 80%. Now that could have changed in the last few weeks or so, but they only had 80% last time I checked. The other 20% are in corporate bonds and precious metals, and also secured loans, whatever that means, yeah. And other investments like tokens, okay? Now, that wouldn't necessarily be so much of a problem, because it would be unlikely that 80%, that really of these 70 billion in market cap, like people try to really cash out those 80% that are backed in cash. I think if we get to that state, there are other problems, okay? So I think we're still okay here with Tether. And I'm starting to lean towards Tether being the most secure cryptocurrency or stablecoin at the moment. The problem is because the issue we see with USDC and BUSD. Now, I did warn about BUSD and USDC and BUSD clearly on Telegram and Discord weeks ago. So if you remember, you get these information, or these pieces of information always very early as possible. Did warn about getting out of BUSD middle of February, I think, or early in February, and we talk about why in this video. And I warned about middle of February as well, that USDC, issues with USDC could be the next big thing. In the end of this video, I will talk about what I do as well. Okay, so what's now the issue with USDC? So I want to just give you a brief outline. Also, what are stablecoins? We talked about that, right? we talked about USDT, that this is not regulated in the US. However, let's talk about BUSD. So BUSD, and I actually didn't open the, see, I said it might be a bit of a inefficient video, this one. Let me just open the Paxos, because it's quite a bit of a spontaneous video. Okay, so let's look at BUSD. BUSD is a stable coin. So we had some, let's call it FUD or issues, the real issues around BUSD at the moment, a few weeks ago. And that's also when I warned about getting out of BUSD. I'm convinced BUSD will disappear at some point. So what is the problem with BUSD? So BUSD is a stable coin that's issued, well, it's sort of issued by Binance, which is the largest crypto exchange. However, Binance worked together with Paxos, which is a company in the US. So Paxos was allowed to issue these stablecoins, back them by USD. This was fully regulated by the US and accepted by the US regulatory authorities. BUSD, I think it still is, but it was certainly the third largest stablecoin worldwide. But this is ending because Paxos cannot issue any new BUSD. So that means they can't issue new ones, so the market cap isn't going to go up. So whatever they earn as a company, they cannot issue new BUSD. They can only, in the past, they could only issue new BUSD stablecoins by having the US dollars behind them. They are not allowed to do that anymore. And now I tell you why. Now, they have been told, as I said, by regulatory authorities that they are not allowed to issue them anymore. And we talk about why now. So Paxos issued BUSD and backed them, and that was all fine. Yeah, and I think around 2/3 of all BUSD were all BUSD, yeah, that are available, because there are two types of BUSD. Now it's getting complicated. 2/3 were issued by Paxos. Paxos was allowed to issue these because it was regulated and checked by the authorities. However, Binance itself issued BUSD as well, and I think sort of 1/3 of all BUSD available was issued by Binance directly. Of course, not regulated by the US authorities. And Binance backed these by Paxos BUSD. So it's a bit ridiculous. I think Binance was never really transparent about it, but you find that information somewhere here on the on the Paxos page, and also in the anyway. So when that all came up and the regulatory authorities found out about that, I think that was the reason primarily that they said, right, or they might use that as a reason that they said, okay, Paxos, you're not allowed to issue any more BUSD anymore. Because, in our name, you are issuing these, you pretend they are regulated and backed, but then Binance issues BUSD as well and backs them by BUSD. So that was not part of the deal, of the plan. So based on that, they are not allowed to issue new BUSD. That means BUSD will die at some point because market cap will stay the same, and eventually it will reduce because people are cashing out of BUSD over time. Now, that is concerning. Yeah, and also the risk wasn't really here with the Paxos issued BUSD, so you can still cash out your BUSD. The risk is with I think it's around 5 billion of BUSD that are backed by BUSD that have been issued by Binance. They are concerning, and they've never really been transparent about this, I think. So ideally, the market cap will go to zero. Everybody can get their US dollars back by selling their BUSD, and everything's fine. If everything was really backed by cash, yeah, or liquid assets, that shouldn't be a problem. Everybody should get their USDs, but only if everything was or is really backed. Then it should not even have a major impact on volatility. If it's all backed, only the market cap will go down. But if there are any problems, for example, due to delays, then it could lead to a crash of the BUSD value compared to other stablecoins. And you might talk about that depegging, yeah? And then people might accept that they only get 90 cents back for their one BUSD. So when people are panicking, right? That's the issue we currently see with USDC. And there might be a run into other cryptos or other stablecoins. I mean, that's the implication. People are cashing out and lose trust into stablecoins, but they want to keep their funds in crypto. They will rush into Bitcoin or other assets. So at some point, if people start to panic and if we see more of that issue spread, you will see that it will depeg. Okay, ideally it doesn't. And if everything is really backed, you won't see a problem. But as I said, those 5 billion BUSD that aren't backed by cash officially, they are risky. Now, panic starts now to come up around USDC. So USDC is a stablecoin that has been issued by Circle. Circle is also a company in the US. It's also regulated, and it was supposed to be the safest stablecoin. Okay. Now, however, I still already warned about it like 4 weeks ago on Telegram and Discord in our private groups. By the way, we don't have any public groups. If you want to join them, feel free to check out the membership. In my opinion, great value, low price, should give everybody the chance to stay up to date. Now, apparently they are all backed by US dollars, and to a degree they are, or should be, we tend to believe that because it's regulated in the US. USDC has really 100% in cash or short-term bonds. So there should not be a problem with being able to cash out if people need to. So again, USDT doesn't have that. They've got other investments as well. But the problem now starts to come up because we've seen this week some banks go down. We've seen Silvergate go down. Okay, that's not really related to USDC or Circle. By the way, Circle also issue other stablecoins. They currently see a bit of a problem as well. But we've got this SVB, yeah, Silicon Valley Bank. It's a huge bank. Apparently they had problems with, I mean, it's a bank, you know, I don't know too much about what they do really. Well, I know what they do, but I don't know about too much about the background. But certainly they started to make losses or whatever, couldn't really keep up the banking, their processes and everything, and they were basically closed down. Now, this is quite big news because I think they were one of the top 20 banks in the US. And obviously with the Fed increasing interest rates, that might have been one of the causes for this to happen. Yeah, so people already start to talk about the next Lehman moment, even worse maybe. Okay, I don't know too much about it. Yeah, I haven't really looked into this too much. I know there's an issue. I know it's to a degree related to policy, to the rates. Yeah, you can find that in this article. And that leads to issues for banks. Yeah. Especially if they don't have enough liquid assets. Now, they were closed down. Now, apparently the problem is, and this is where all the clown world stuff starts again, and I'm wondering, is this a coincidence? Now, US is cracking down on crypto. They are cracking down on stablecoins. Is it a coincidence that a company called Circle that is issuing USDC has a lot of funds, apparently, deposited with this Silicon Valley Bank, and that bank is closed down, yeah, just a few weeks after BUSD is basically being shut down. It's a bit of a coincidence. No, I'm not just saying what I think, okay? Make up your own mind best, this is just my own view, but, it's a bit of a coincidence, isn't it? Anyway, apparently, Circle, USDC, so this second largest stablecoin in crypto, apparently they had a substantial amount of funds as liquidity at the Silicon Valley Bank. It's going down. The problem here is that Circle has always made a mystery out of how much they've really deposited. So maybe that number has come out. Post it please in the comments if you already have that number and what that is in percentage of the entire funds. That's a huge problem. Yeah. If you think about it, it means if those funds are gone because that company might be bankrupt, a lot of the USDC that are out there are not backed because a lot of those funds that have been used to back USDC, they are gone. Okay, potentially gone. We don't know. And we don't know how much that is. And the reason that, or the fact that USDC or Circle make a bit of a mystery out of this doesn't give a lot of confidence. So again, I think the biggest issue here in general is the trust issue. If they are not transparent about it, and also with Binance and BUSD, and if eventually comes out that not all BUSD have been backed by US dollars, that is the trust issue that could develop into a huge issue for the cryptocurrency world. Now, again, this is just really a video to inform, and this is sort of the background. And because people are fleeing out of USDC at the moment, you actually start to see on CoinMarketCap the price of USDC go down. People are accepting that they can, so there are even people who are shorting this at the moment. There are people who are accepting that they can get less for their USD, for one USDC, but they want to just get out, okay? And there's a lot of speculation going on. Yeah. So is it all FUD? Is it not? There's more behind it than just FUD. There are fundamental reasons, and the US are cracking down on this. So so what am I doing, and what should you do? So I can't tell you what to do, and I will not do it. Yeah, for the very simple reason, because I don't have all the information, but I only see this as a risk. I did recommend at the time people to get out their funds of FTX when there was still time. I cannot recommend you should do anything here to cash out of USDC. Why can I not do that? Because this is now related to funds, to value. Okay, so with FTX there was no cost implications to move out, other than you waste maybe 10 minutes of transferring funds and a few transaction fees to get funds out of FTX. Yeah, there was no cost implication. Here, if someone holds thousands of USDC and you now cash them out and don't get $10,000 for it, but only $9,000, that's a bit of an issue. And if it then goes back to one-to-one, okay, oh, MCO told me. No. Everybody needs to make that decision for themselves. I luckily only hold like 150 USDC, so I don't have any problem. But because I'll tell you what I do and what my strategy about stablecoins is in a minute as well. But yeah, I can't tell you what to do. I can only tell you what would I do. I personally, I can't really, because I don't know. You know, it depends on how much I was holding. I would probably cash out quite a bit. I would probably leave still quite a bit in there. That's what I would be doing. But I don't do anything because I don't own any USDC. Luckily, maybe a little bit here and there, but it's not. You know, maybe a few $100. 150 or something, which is fine. You know, I just speculate it will go back. So the thing now is, and that's also why crypto prices I think have gone up a little bit. Now it was in line with expectations because we see currently Ethereum work on its way forward and so on. But the thing is, this development could short-term boost crypto prices a bit. It could. The reason is that if this spreads further, it could either lead to a complete escalation in the crypto market. Now people are fleeing out of crypto, or it could actually lead to quite a bit of a positive development, because people might be fleeing out of stablecoins into Bitcoin, Ethereum, because they might consider that safer. Now the problem is that Ether has now also been called a security, which is another topic for another video. Bitcoin isn't though. So it might lead to an increase in Bitcoin, which then again could lead to an increase in Ethereum. So it's all a bit, you know, best not to waste too much brain power on that. But I'm just telling you the implications. It could mean that a lot of people are fleeing off the stable coins into other assets. Now, the biggest problem could be if a lot of people are not doing anything, but a lot of people are cashing out, that the people who aren't cashing out of USDC and those funds are gone because they've been with SVB and the money is gone for wherever, yeah, because they are in debt or whatever. It could mean that some people will not be able to convert their USDCs back into US dollars. Yeah, so very clearly, that's the implication. Now, again, it could lead to short-term price boost for crypto. Also, there have been talks now that obviously if that collapse of SVB might be related, and there might be other, you know, there's contagion spreading. There might be other banks that might follow or whatever, a bit like FTX. If that continues to spread, then it might lead the Fed to these are at least claims that some people make. It might cause the Fed not to raise interest rates anymore, or not that much, and they have to be a bit more aggressive on quantitative easing again, because those banks will not survive. Now that's another topic, okay, and that has led to some talks about, okay, now if we now also see CPI numbers come quite favorable, maybe the Fed will not be that aggressive in interest rate hikes anymore, even though they said they will be. And it could be at least short-term positive for crypto. Now, they are just some thoughts. What do I do? Again, with USDC, I'm not doing anything. What's my strategy with stablecoins? Now, I hold zero BUSD. I don't hold any USDC other than $150 or so. Why is that? The reason is that I tend to cash out in fiat usually. That costs a bit of money, but it is, for me, the safer place to be. Either in cryptos, and proper cryptos, yeah, mainly Bitcoin, Ethereum, or in fiat. And then I hold some stable coins, but mainly USDT, even though there's a bit of a risk there as well. But that's because the main exchanges I use, which are Bybit and Kucoin, which I never had problems with so far. Never say never. Most pairs are traded in USDT. So I either have USDT or cryptos or fiat. I tend to, if people are asking, what is a good approach, I always tend to say, or used to say, it might be worth, just for risk spreading, diversification to have maybe 30% in USDT, USDC 30%, and maybe 30% in BUSD or 33. Yeah, I wouldn't do that anymore. And the reason is that we've got this stablecoin crackdown. So I would minimize, at least that's what I'm doing. I minimize, but I'm doing that anyway. I minimize stablecoins in my portfolio. And why wouldn't I cash out in fiat? You know, yes, it costs a bit of fees, but when you transfer USDT around to your hardware wallet, it will cost you fees as well. So there's no point me holding stablecoins, especially because any transaction, even in stablecoin, even crypto pairs, is a taxable event in most countries anyway, especially in my country here. So yeah, how do I cash out in fiat? Well, I mainly use, because I'm in the UK, I mainly use either Wirex. I didn't have the best experience with, but Wirex works. I still use it because I want to have several options in case they shut one down. And I use Tap, which so far worked flawlessly. I have to be very honest with you. Tap works flawlessly. You get a UK bank account or bank account in different currencies, and you can just move your cryptos there, and then you just convert. Yeah, it costs, again, a bit of fee. Not massive, but it costs a bit of fees. And then I transfer over to my bank account. Yeah, that's how it works. And that's my view about stablecoins, guys. And I hope it gave you a lot of information, a lot of background information. If anybody is interested in checking out the channel membership, where we talk about this stuff more regularly as well, then feel free to join. And hope you have a great weekend. Bye-bye.